him on.
Welcome to the Young Pro Show. Today on the show we have our good buddy Diego. Diego is a 26-year-old who started working in corporate America, and he left after 2 years to pursue a new career in real estate. He now works as a realtor with Keller Williams and focuses on creating passive income streams. He's 26 years old right now, and is completely financially free. So that's incredible to hear. Diego, why don't you just start off by just telling us a little bit about yourself and your story and what brought you to where you are today?
Yeah, well, thank you very much for taking your time. Really appreciate it. I'm very excited to be here. So I got started into this realm of investing or heading into the mindset after I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad in 2011. And that was a book that changed my mindset. That taught me that I just don't have to be an employee to earn my money, but the way that I have to do it is I have to make my money work for me. So I began to read books, began to get to know other people that are following the lifestyle that I want to have, and from then on, it just moved forward, and that helped me move from Florida to Austin, Texas, where I live now. I've been here for 3 years so far, and it's been going well. Really happy. I got started in corporate America as soon as I graduated college. I studied technology, web design, front-end design, and getting the job in technology lasted there for 2 years, but I wanted to try something new. So I found some mentors and I got into real estate, quit my job 2 years later, and I've been doing that for exactly a year now, full-time real estate. It's awesome.
Awesome. What brought you into corporate America, and when you got there, did you know that it wasn't for you right away, or?
No, so I am an immigrant from Peru. So I was always told from the beginning, and I'm the first one in my family to go to college, to get a college degree in the United States.
Nice. My
parents were always telling me, hey, Diego, you're going to do great things. You're going to be working, like, you're going to have the American dream. Because when we first moved here, I saw my parents working ridiculous amounts of hours and trying to give us a good lifestyle. And I realized that was a desire then that I had, that it was put onto me, and that it was just going to be a matter of time till I get there. And also that it was going to be a good avenue for me to earn money so that I can later invest. And so I had the opportunity to work for GM for 2 years. And I decided after that, I just needed to try something new. It wasn't that I didn't like working a 9 to 5 or an 8 to 5, because I had a great team, great bosses. It was just that I prefer to do this now, take that leap at the age of, I was 25 at the time. I decided to take that where I had zero responsibilities and I don't have any debt, then later down the road when I was 35 or 40 to take that leap.
Good choice.
So you knew even before you got into corporate America that you were going to end up in the field of investing and creating your own assets for yourself.
I knew that by the age of 35, I wanted to own 10 properties.
Okay.
And be on a good path to be financially free.
Did you have those goals written down?
Yes, I did. I wrote that down around 2012, where I had 0 properties.
Nice. And how many do you have right now?
So right now we're September 2016. I have 8 properties so far.
So you're well on your way.
I am well on my way, and it came quicker than I thought.
Have you revised those goals, Diego?
I have revised the goals in the sense that now I want to get $10,000 a month passive income by the time that I'm 30.
Okay. How many pieces of property are you planning to own by 35?
By 35, I can say that I can probably own 20 to 25 doors.
20 to 25 doors. Okay.
Awesome.
So by doors, you mean each of those is a separate unit, correct?
Each house would be a door. Yeah. So
Okay.
if I buy a duplex, that counts as 2 doors.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. So it's good.
Yeah, man, I bet. You're definitely on track. Why do you think it started to happen faster than you thought that you thought it was gonna happen?
So the reason why it has happened faster, to be honest, is because I can say three. It's like 3 to 4 things that just come on top of my mind. I know exactly how much money's coming in, whether it is through my work. While I was in corporate America, I knew exactly how much was coming in and how much was coming out. So that actually led me to have a plan. And also number 2, I guess, would be that I had my goals down. So I written them down, I looked at them, and every day I try to do something that goes towards my goals, right? But when you have in the area of real estate, you need to save money so that you can invest, or find partners, stuff like that, that will get you quicker so that you can put down that big chunk of money so that you can get your investment property. So I tracked down all of my expenses, knew how much it was coming in, how much was coming out. I had my goals set up, and then I reached for mentors. I tried to read as many books as I could, and in reading the book by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, he mentioned that you have to have a mastermind. So in 2014, I got connected with a mastermind group, and they were very successful entrepreneurs. Most of them are in real estate. And from that aspect, I just knew that because of the knowledge that they were teaching me, they took me under their wing, and these guys really wanted to help me. And I've done everything that they told me. I've executed it on, and now I'm seeing the returns of that.
And when you were part of that mastermind group, Diego, when you originally started, you didn't have the funds to actually get started and buy into the group. So you put it out there that you wanted to have this mastermind group. And correct me if I'm wrong, but they brought you in as almost like an apprentice, like an understudy, right?
Exactly. Yes. So that event. Wow. So yeah, it was crazy how all of that worked out. But I ended up going to an event, and in that event, I found out that millionaires were the only ones that could get into the tribe. And they told me, they took me to the side and told me, "Hey, Diego, we cannot let you in here, but because we created the mastermind for millionaires, but what we can do is you can be our first apprentice." And I didn't have the funds to pay to be part of the whole mastermind group. So I gave them some of my time. I had to do a couple of things here and there, and they took me under their wing. And 2 years later, it's been a life-changing experience, and I could not be where I am today without being part of Go Abundance, which is the name of the mastermind group.
How's the mentorship been there? Like what are some of the things that have stood out for you from a mentorship standpoint as far as helping you change your life?
Yeah. So the funny thing is this. So they took me as the first guy, as a first apprentice on my March to $1 million. So now the elders created a program called March to $1 Million, and now there's around 120 guys that are on that march. Fortunately, I was the first one, which is super cool. I'm not a millionaire yet. I have a plan to get there by 30. But the mentorship, it's all about number one. You have to take time during the day to either read books, listen to podcasts. It's basically feed your brain so that you can get into a state that you can take action. Taking action is what has set me apart compared to other people that just take information. And when you're taking so much information, it becomes more entertainment rather than education to execute. And that's something that has helped me a lot. So, and through going to events, building the relationships, that has been the most amazing thing for me, because those relationships then open doors. So, for example, last year, I invested in personal development around $7,000 or $8,000, which for some people would be a lot. And some people will tell me, Diego, that's crazy. Do you think they're really just taking your money and doing whatever? I'm like, I don't care, but I need this to happen. I need to go to those events. I need to, because I know that they truly care about my future. I know that those guys, I know that between March to a Million and Go Abundance, that they really want to see me succeed. So I just go to those events, give them my time, give them my knowledge too in some areas, and we go from there.
Awesome.
Wow. It's funny. They say it's a lot to invest $7,000 into your personal development. When you go to these things, you're getting the information to execute on all of your dreams and execute on those goals that you have written down. So it's giving you real world value for your own life. But then we don't find it crazy when we're investing $10, $15, $20,000 into college or university, when the value that we're getting is barely applicable to our own lives and achieving our own goals. So I think it's just interesting that we have that paradigm. If you realize that that $7,000 investing in yourself is far more valuable than 20 or even $7,000 investing in current college or current university.
Of course. And it's funny because I'm going to a Tony Robbins event in December.
Date with Destiny?
Date with Destiny,
Nice.
yes. So it's going to be my first time going there. But I paid for that earlier this year. And to be honest, I'll be completely honest, it was $5,000 just to write the check or write the payment. And in my head, I was like, wow, I'm writing this check for $5,000. And that's how much it cost me, at least at FSU, where I went to school. That was a semester just on the courses, right? So in my head, I'm like, I'm going there for a week, just 1 week, and it's $5,000. That doesn't include my food, my hotel. And then that's what I used to pay in college. But I know that this event in Florida, it will change my life. I will meet incredible people. And I know that it will get me into a state that then I can go and execute, and it will pay me back tenfold.
I've been to that event, Diego, and it's outstanding.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
I went in 2010, total life changer. And be prepared to be going from 8, 9 a.m. in the morning until 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night.
Wow.
And it's an absolute full immersion in personal development, tons of self-discovery, all kinds of time spent on relationships, discovering your own challenges in your own thought process and your own view of the world, your own story, your own paradigm. It's really an earth-shattering event, and that $5,000 is very well spent. When I went there, my friend, I could not even afford a hotel. I slept in a car for the first 4 days. And FYI, I went to Palm Desert, California. So it's just about an hour away from Los Angeles. I flew down to LA, rented a car in LA. I didn't have a proper credit card at the time, so I couldn't rent from a traditional place. So I'm sitting around at these rental agencies trying to get myself a car. It's pitch black. It's the middle of the night. I can't get one. I eventually find this rental company who will rent one to me with cash. And then I take this car, drive up, an hour into the desert, and it's cold at night in the desert. I had no idea how cold it was at night. Like, I had to sleep in the car with the heat running just to keep myself warm. So I spent 4 days sleeping in the car, and then I was able to I found a cheap hotel that was about 25 minutes away from the event. because I was just freezing. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm like, I'm going to die in this car overnight.
Oh
Hypothermia.
wow.
I got to get myself a hotel room. So I ended up being able to stay the last 3 nights in a hotel. And I was eating like veggie trays kind of just to save myself
Uh-huh.
money. But that was a life changer for me. And I actually, post that
Wow.
event, I ended up within about 6 months from that, I pushed my income to about $20,000 a month from that.
Wow.
So it
Wow.
was a
So
huge
see,
game changer for me.
that's awesome. That's awesome. And what you see there is that you could have made a lot of excuses,
Oh
right?
yeah.
You could have
Yes.
made the where am I gonna stay? I'm gonna be like, what are other people gonna say about me? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna eat? But you did not let that stop you. And
Nope.
that's, I think that later, those sacrifices, those small or big sacrifices, it's what sets you apart. And some people don't see that when you, for example, when you've reached a level of success, they really don't see those sacrifices that you did so that you can get there.
No, no. The real funny thing is that people will say that you're an overnight success.
Yes.
You
Hmm.
know, I started prepping
Uh-huh.
for this kind of stuff at 24 years old. And,
Hmm.
after 6 years of working in an industry that I wanted to create financial, well, not necessarily financial freedom, but residual income from, it took me 6 years
Hmm.
before I really made any money in that industry. And then all of a sudden, when
Hmm.
I get with this new business model and I have great success with it, everyone's saying, oh, it's so easy for you. You're an overnight success. Look at how easy it was for Matt. He had experience in personal
Hmm.
training, so it was easy, blah, blah, blah. But no one remembers the 6 years of sucking terribly, of
Yes.
all the
Hmm.
mistakes. No one ever sees that part. So as soon as you achieve that level of success, most people are quick to point out, oh, it was overnight.
Exactly. Exactly.
Diego, you must have got those 8 properties overnight, right?
Dude, it all came at once. It was crazy. Oh man, no, it was. It's been definitely a challenge too. But the first one, fortunately, I was able to get it with a 50-50% partnership with my dad,
Oh, cool.
and he was in Florida. Yeah, so I own 4 properties in Florida, so I'm out of state investor in that sense. Um, but then the ones that I own in Austin, my personal home. So for the young people, right? I always knew that that one of the best ways is to have other people pay for your mortgage or for your debt, right? So what I did is I bought a 4-bedroom home here in the United States. You can get into a house if you're going to live there with like 3% or 5% down. And because I was a realtor at that time, I made 3% commission back.
Well done.
So I literally got into this house with 2% down. And after that, I rented out each room for, let's say, $550. And that was able to pay for my mortgage. So at this point, I was living there for free at my house. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And so since I bought my house, I haven't had a mortgage payment out of my
Wow.
pocket.
That's huge.
Yeah, where I have other friends. Now, one apartments here in Austin in the area where I live, it's going for around 1,100. So even though I am making money from the guys at my house, I tell them it's like, hey, do you want to pay me $600 or do you want to pay $1,100? So it's a win-win for both. It's not just me being like, give me your money, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's a win-win for both, and it does have taken some sacrifice on my end to not have the privacy or the luxury to live in a house by myself or have my own area. Like I'm constantly with people in my house, I guess. But I I haven't had a mortgage payment
Mm.
in a year. I should be paying off my car by next month, and I don't have any student loans because I couldn't get into that at that time while I was going to college, which was a blessing in disguise. But now I don't have any bad debt, as the
Wow.
rich dad poor dad mentality
Right.
describes that.
So one of the things we were saying before, Diego, is one of the things that got you to where you are right now and was allowed you to move faster was you were able to track all of your expenses and make sure that the revenue coming in exceeded the expenses that you have, and you
Hmm.
made sure that you tracked everything and you got on top of it all. Well, what advice could you give to the student right now who's looking at where they're at and all they see is $20,000 of student loan debt, maxed out
Uh-huh.
credit cards, and they know that they want to
Uh-huh.
take a similar route that you did, but have no idea where to start because all they see is this incredible debt. That debt.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. So here's a couple of tips, I guess. Um, if you have for a student that's in high school, right? I'll start from there. If you're a student in high school, whether you're in the United States or in Canada, um, at least in the United States, you can go to a community college for 2 years, which is 50% cheaper, and then you can go for after 2 years, you can actually go to a big university with a big name, whatever, and get your degree from there. But at least you do not have to take huge loans out for those 2 years. Another thing that I would recommend is just take your 15 hours but get a part-time job. Get active, get some income coming in so that can also, so that you can start paying your loans or take 50% loans, 50% payments like through your work. But then also scholarships. There are a lot of scholarships where they have to give that money away. And because people are too lazy to write 500 words, they don't get it. And I've heard of people that, as an example, it's a scholarship for women, and there's a guy that submits an essay, and they get the scholarship because there were no women that signed up,
Wow.
or for minorities, and there wasn't anybody that signed up, so somebody else wanted it, right? So that's just an example. But there are different ways that you can go to college, save some money, and not get into all these thousands and thousands in debt. Another thing that I did is my best friend and I, we studied the same thing. We studied the same majors, took the same courses. So it helped me out in two ways. We were always hold each other accountable because we wanted to compete to see who got the highest grade. But we also shared books. So we bought books off Amazon, which were already used. And then after that cost us already in half, then we cut it in half because we both split it. So when I have friends buying new books for $800 a semester, I was cutting that in half and then in half again because I was buying used books. And then I sold them again. So then I made some money back.
Well done.
Right? Another thing that I did to actually, now that I think about it, is I made study guides and I sold them. So with one course, I paid, so there were 3 exams in one course, and the teacher said, hey, if you answer these 15 questions that I'm going to give you, if you can answer them, writing them down, you will get an A. So on the first exam, I set the curve because I memorized everything. I wrote it all down, and I realized, wow, I bet you that there were 200 people in that class. I was like, I bet you they will buy something for $5. So by the time the second exam came in, I did the study guide. I sold it. People were meeting me in my dorm room. I was coming out, meeting people in cars. It looked sketchy, but for real, they were like, what are you giving me? Because I would go with pieces of paper and come out with money. But I made $300 in one exam. And by the second exam, I made another 200 because I raised the price. I was like, that was too much work. I'm going to raise the price to $10 a study guide. And so that paid for a class. So it's like different ways that you can if you want to hustle, if you can hustle, and you can make it happen.
Right. I guess that's the biggest thing. A lot of us are very complacent when it comes to these things.
Mm-hmm.
We like, oh, at the debt, or we like to look at the problems that we have and just dial in on those problems rather than trying to think about the solution that we can
Mm-hmm.
get from those problems, and then going after and just attacking that solution head on, and hustling until
Exactly.
that solution becomes a reality, rather than just letting yourself stay complacent in the problem that you're living in.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. You
many
know
people
that.
get focused on that problem, and then that's the thing they see all the time in front of their face, instead of realizing without those problems, they wouldn't toughen up. They wouldn't find the wherewithal inside themselves and the internal drive and the hunger to make things
Mm-hmm.
change without the struggle. Without struggle,
Exactly.
really, there's a saying, strife is the father of all things,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Exactly. And one thing that I heard at a conference that I was this weekend is like, there are times where when the adversity that you're going through, there's some problems, some situations, is take them as they come, but don't let that stop you. Something that I haven't let my circumstances actually stop me. I have my plan, I have my vision where I want to be, and I just know this is just an extra step. This might be something that I just have to jump over it or find a solution. But sometimes those are the problems that we have with adversity. It helps us. It helps us find different ways, different solutions that we can excel. That will come to me in a different way if I was just given the solution.
Right. In every
Mm-hmm.
problem comes a solution.
Yeah, sometimes it takes longer to solve it, but it's better to be prepared also, to have those, like, so that when those problems come, you at least have some anticipation, or you can take them the
Right.
right way.
Right. And if we
Mm-hmm.
know so well internally anyway where we're going, and like you said, you had your goals written down and you knew exactly where you were going. If we just know that internally so strongly, anything that
Mm-hmm.
happens externally in an environment, any problem that hits us is not even going to matter, because we're so confident in our own vision and confident in where we're going that, hey, who cares if something comes that stops us for now? It's only for now, because we know we're going to get to where we want to go anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, and sometimes too, we just have to at some points we just have to be okay with what we have with the current life, like be happy with it, but not be complacent, and know that just with time and by taking action, your life will get to another level, right? Because if we go and we're sad and we're like, oh my gosh, I have $50,000 in debt, I'm never gonna pay this because of student loans, whatever. You begin to feel sorry for yourself, but you're not looking for a solution. So be like, okay, I have $50,000 in student debt, but what can I do to get out of there quicker?
Right.
Right? Like what can I do? Is it an extra part-time job? Do I need to learn an extra skill? Do I need to cut expenses and have a roommate? Do I need to have 3 roommates? Do I really need that new car that just came out, and get into more loan payments and more debt? Because a lot of people my age, at least from what I saw, just coming from my experience, a lot of students, well, a lot of new college grads, they would get, even though they had their student loans, but now that they have the $50,000 a year income from their job, then they go and they get the new car.
Mm.
And all of a sudden, once they have a new car, they think that they can afford that lifestyle. But then what happens is, then they get a new car, then they go, okay, well, now I want to live in a really nice place. But they keep on forgetting that they are making those payments on the car, on the rent of the really nice place, and then the student debt that they have to pay off. So that is okay if they want to have the lifestyle where their income is paying for that, but it's like all of it is going through that and no savings. That's what it's called the rat race, right? It's because they're constantly, once you're used to it, a 23-year-old getting a new car every 2 years, you're screwed, because you're going to be getting a new car when you're 26, when you're 29, when you're 31, 33, and yeah, that doesn't really help you get the freedom unless you build other passive income streams, or you excel your income to where you're okay having a very good lifestyle, but then saving 30%, saving 50% of your income. That is also something that helped me, that I knew how much I wanted to save, so that I can get to my next goal, to the next house.
Mm. Why do you think it is that we're so focused on this instant gratification rather than this long-term success that we can have?
I think that is because we are, at least the people our age, we want everything right now because we have those tools, right? We have the texting tools. We have a microwave that be like, hey, I want to get this. I just want to get this in 1 minute, and I want to eat, right? So because we've grown up like that, is that now just by having 5 minutes, by having a dinner in 2 minutes, now we want everything to come within 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and we are just used to that. And it does give us a pleasure when we do have it, and when it happens quick. And that's why there's a lot of consumerism here in the United States. They just want to buy the next thing. They buy the best thing, and other people are always like, "Oh wow, look what you have now! You must be making money." But they don't really know that some people are like, "Yeah, I have this new gadget, but I'm stuck here because I know that I have to work for the next 2 years to pay for it," you know. And also there's people also too, for me on my end, people value different things. I value my time, I value my freedom, and I also value the opportunities that I will have in the future. Maybe not right now, right? So for example, you may furnish, let's just say, your house, right? You may furnish it with like $7,000, $8,000, but then when your buddy comes and tells you, "Hey, would you like to go on this trip to Asia for 2 weeks or for 3 weeks?" You're like, "I actually can't. I just bought the biggest TV so that I can impress my friends. So now I can't go to Europe or to Asia to have the time of my life."
It's just where
I don't
people
know if I answered your question right, but basically they value on gadgets, they value on stuff.
Yeah.
And something that I believe is that that I want to build a bigger life, not a bigger lifestyle.
Right.
You know, that is the main difference. And that is not a quote that I came up with. That's a quote that I got from a mentor named Adam Carroll. He taught me 2 things, right? Build a bigger life, not a bigger lifestyle.
Right.
And he also taught me that when you get a new car, the new car smell waits away, but the new car payments don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's something that he told me.
Yeah, so we should be writing down our values and the things that we truly value in long term, so we know and have a clear understanding on what we should be directing our time, energy, and money into, so that we can push forward those values rather than the things that might distract us from those things that we value.
Exactly. So writing them down, but then the next thing is to find a peer group, find a mastermind group, find your community, right? Because your vibe attracts your tribe, right? So if I'm focusing, okay, I want to build passive income. Let's say that I want to connect with people that are also building passive income. I don't want people that I'm not going to connect fully, because that's not where my value aligns, with people that are living 100% paycheck to paycheck or are incredibly in debt. That's not where my values are. Now, of course, like, it's not like I don't talk to them. It's just like I just don't connect with them as well.
Right.
Yes.
As connecting with other people that have the same values, that I may have a very good conversation, and then using that peer group to hold you accountable, right? You want that peer group that will call you out on your goals that you didn't achieve, or that call you out when you're slacking or you're not hustling.
Right.
And that has helped me a lot. For example, I have a buddy, my best friend from high school. We literally every single month we have a meeting where we discuss our finances for that month, how much we made, how much we spent, and we put it all in a spreadsheet, right? So I know that if I'm going to go all out on something
He's gonna know.
early in the month, I know that I have to tell him and explain why I spent $1,000. And it's nothing that's good or bad. If it brings me happiness, I do it. But I just know that he's going to hold me accountable, and this helps me to track my net worth every single month.
Right.
It's a good habit, Diego.
Yeah, it has been. It's because I've been tracking my expenses since I was in college, but there's always been months where I was like, oh, I'll do it later. But by having this meeting every single month, it's like, shoot, I have to finish this. I have to make sure that my mint.com has all my expenses, the spreadsheet that I'm tracking everything. And that has been a life changer for me, because I know exactly where my numbers are every single month.
I heard you mention mint.com. That's an app that you use consistently to track your expenses and what comes in?
Yes. So that is mint.com. I've been using that for a few years, and that is a great tool because you can actually put in all of your bank accounts, all of your credit cards, and for every expense, it will show up there, and you can actually have a budget, so that if you have your groceries, you have your car, you have drinks and going out, it will tell you in between, like throughout the entire month, how much you spent.
Very good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Mint.com. You just put
Mint.com,
your bank
young
account,
pros,
you're
download
good
it.
to go. Yeah, it's a great app.
So Diego, since you've been in North America, what are some of the greatest lessons that you've seen from our standpoint, like how we behave here as far as the consumerism, as far as the drive to have nice stuff? What kind of major differences have you seen between North America and where you grew up in Peru, or do you remember?
Yeah, so I came when I was 9 from Peru. So I was there until 3rd grade. So I don't remember, I guess, like a lot from it, but I know that here there's a lot more value in things, where in Peru is more, to be honest, both countries are based on how you appear, like your appearances. Over there, they value more family, and you're together more with your family, but that's just because the capital, everything happens in the capital. Where here, you, like, my brother may live in Jacksonville, my mom and my parents live in Tampa, and I live in Austin, Texas, right? So there's a lot more families more spread apart.
Mm-hmm.
But here, they value a lot more gadgets. They value more stuff, and people feel happy when they get that stuff.
Doodads, as Robert Kiyosaki says.
Doodads.
Yeah, exactly. And it's great to have that stuff if you are not getting in debt, right?
Yeah.
I feel like if you're gonna get in debt and buy the biggest TV, I'm like, that's not good, right? Because then later you're paying later with your time, and at this point, time is the only thing that we will never get back. Money, you can always get back money. You can always make more money. That's nothing. Like, especially in the United States, it is easy to make money. So, like, not easy. There's a lot of ways to make money. It's not
simple.
Easy,
opportunity is everywhere.
It's simple. Exactly. This country has the biggest opportunities where you can create money in the internet space, in the real estate space. I mean, it's crazy the opportunities that are out there. You just have to take just take time to learn it. Again, for me, find somebody that's already doing it, so that you can so that you can actually so that you can execute quicker, right? That's the reason why I'm a realtor. I'll tell you a quick story. The reason why how I became a realtor was I wanted to buy a house when I wasn't a realtor yet, but I became very good friends with the realtor at the time, and later I literally I asked him. I was like, "Hey, can I shadow you? Can I drive you around? I will drive you around. I just want to hear the conversations that you're having with clients. I just want to show how you're showing homes. I just want to see how you're showing homes." And he said yes. So for 2 weekends, I took my weekends while everybody's out there and partying and having a lot of fun. My fun was a little bit different. I asked him if I could drive him around, and I learned a lot. And I realized that I can do this. It's like, why not me? So before I became a realtor, I told him, I was like, hey, I will become a realtor, but I want you to mentor me because I'm not going to go change careers, go from technology, IT to real estate without me knowing what I'm doing.
Right.
And he said, let's do it. I will help you. I did it on my own for about a year and a half. And then later he asked me to become his business partner. So that's when I quit GM, right? But it was through those opportunities, through working for free or working to learn. That's something that helps a lot of millennials, a lot of people in my in our age. It's like we can just work to learn. You know, we don't have to get paid those big bucks. We may not have as many responsibilities.
I would say that's one of the
that
biggest opportunities for the youth right now is that there are so many people who have achieved a certain level of success within the entrepreneurial world who are willing to mentor other people and would love to have someone around them just to be an extra hand. You know, that's that person shadowing. So for you, example, shadowing the person who's in real estate. I'm sure that person loved having an extra person around to do a couple things here and there to help them out, and at the same time be able to pour energy and knowledge into a hungry student is so powerful. And those opportunities are everywhere. But the question is, why is no one doing it, right? And it just goes back to the fact that maybe they might not know they're there, but two, they're not getting creative. They're not thinking outside the box, right? They're always thinking about where can I go and work? Where can I go and party the next weekend? What stuff can I buy? Instead of the future of who can I sit with and learn from? Who can I shadow? Doesn't need to be in school, right? It can be I'm riding around with my friend who's in real estate and learning from him instead of I'm going to spend my day in bed because I'm hungover from drinking my face off the night before.
That is 100% true. Yeah. And at some point, that is what has set me apart.
Yes.
And because opportunities will come up, right? There will be different opportunities that will definitely come up, and those mentors, they know people. That's one of the reasons why they've been doing it for so many years. Is if they cannot just help you right now, they definitely know somebody that can help you in the future. And by you giving value to them, it will definitely come back.
Right.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of it has to do too with a lot of us young people, we got to let our ego die down a little bit. I think one of the things that has put me ahead of a lot of my peer group is I'm not afraid to go out there to a mentor or somebody that I look up to and ask for help and know that I could use that person's value and I'm willing to invest my time in that person's value. A lot of young people, we have this, paradigm that, oh, we don't need that, or, oh, we don't need anybody, or, oh, we're good to go ourselves. But if we can let that ego die down a little bit, there's way more value that is out there for us to get.
For sure. Being humble. I mean, being humble and building and having the will to learn from others' experiences, that is something that you cannot learn from a textbook.
Yeah. And then we can humbly begin to teach others too when, we start to get that information. That's an incredible feeling.
Exactly. Once you bring that value and you get to share it with other people, you sort of pay it forward. And that's something that I do want to do in the future. I want to get more into speaking or sharing through my experiences, what is possible for somebody to do from the age of 20, 21, 20 years old to the age of 26, which is what I have now. But it all started with feeding my mind, right? Reading the books, reading Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's a book that I highly recommend for everybody. Think and Grow Rich, and then Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T.F. Ecker. Those are great books. And by learning how I feel about money, by learning how I feel about building my relationships, that is one thing that has helped me achieve what I have at my age.
It's also helped to really shape your paradigm around personal growth and the value of that investment, right? There's, again, people look at, they make choices on spending their money, and oftentimes those choices are on the doodads, right? Where people like yourself, myself, David, we spend our extra dollars on buying books, going to courses, going to buying audio programs. Like every single month, I buy at least 2 new books every month. I get them on audio and I get them in hardcover, and I read. I still read. I still listen to audiobooks, and I do it all the time. I attend courses, and that investment is the best investment we can ever make, and that will lead us to creating other opportunities that aren't shown to the unprepared mind. Right? There's opportunities everywhere, but the question is, do you see them? And the reason we don't see them is because our mind isn't prepared to see those yet. Right? There's someone who will walk into the depression and say, oh my God, this is the greatest opportunity that's ever happened. I can buy up everything on the planet right now. And then there's another person that'll walk into a depression and say, oh my God, I'm depressed. I'm going to go kill myself. Right?
Exactly.
And the reason that is the preparation of the mind, the framework that allows a person to see things that other people can't see. And for you, for myself, for David, for the people that kind of are in our circle, your GoBundance tribe, investing in themselves is the best investment they can ever make, and they'll gladly tell you that. And for everybody watching, I hope that that becomes something that you become really ingrained as a habit in your life, is to take some of your extra money and invest it in you through your personal development.
Exactly. And then once you learn that, to set goals, right? Because if you are the reason why I believe that people are in the consumerism, they just buy doodads, buy, is because they really don't have a goal of where they want to be, right? For example, my goal, if let's just say on the real estate side, just because what I do, if my goal is to save $20,000 in 1 year, I will spend my money very differently than somebody who doesn't have a goal, right? That's why they be like, well, I have an extra $200. Let me just go get this. I have an extra $1,000. Let me upgrade my TV. But it's like, for me, now I don't even have a TV, but for me, it's more like, okay, I have an extra $1,000. That's going to go towards the down payment of my home. But that's because I have a benchmark. I have a goal, and you can track it. So I bet you 100% that if you tell a 23-year-old, I say, hey, you may not have a goal, but let's go on a trip. Let's go to Asia. It's going to be $1,200.
You're going to go.
They will start doing stuff different than they did. Maybe they don't go out that Friday night, but that's because they have a goal that they know they're going to be swimming in Bali or something later, right? They know that in 2 months they will have that money and have an experience of their lifetime.
I was going to ask you about the television. You don't have one. And interestingly enough, when I was 24, I got rid of my TV as well. I do have one again now, but I spent about 5 years with no television. And I know for me what it did. What has that done for you?
In college, we always had a TV, and it would be something that we put it on there while we're eating or we're doing homework or we're cleaning, stuff like that. But it takes a lot of time from me. It's just entertainment. Now I do watch a show here and there through Netflix or
you Netflix
TV. Netflix and chill. Yeah, so I do watch a show here and there, but it's not something that's running in the background. Um, because this is something that I got from Jim Rohn, right? You have a guy that tells him, it's like, oh, do you really know how much your TV is worth? And it's like, yeah, my TV is worth $400. It's like, no, it's not, because you're spending 1 year, you spend 600 hours watching TV. And if you value your time at $20 and 600 hours, if you add that up, that is how much that TV has taken from you.
Stolen
right?
from
and
you. There.
Has stolen, yeah. And Jim Rohn, if you for the young people, if you guys can watch Jim Rohn videos, he passed away, but his videos that's something that I see. Like, I probably see at least one video of his every single week, and I can quote some of his stuff and like his book, The Richest Man in Babylon, and everything that he recommends. He has some great stories.
Yes.
Awesome.
He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, mine as well.
Yeah. So on the TV, it just steals your time. Now, entertainment is good, but something that I heard from one of my mentors is also that 95% of the people invest in entertainment, 5% invest on education, right? And entertainment comes from TV, whether you're investing money or time.
Yep.
So just have priorities a little bit different, and you will see the results. Maybe not now, maybe not next month or next year, but in 5 and 10 years, you'll be like, what did that person do different? It's like, maybe it was that he studied a little bit longer. He read the extra book. He went the extra mile.
Yeah, well, you think about the person that works a full-time job and comes home at the end of every day and puts an hour or two of television in. And then all of a sudden they take that TV away and that person starts putting an hour or two of personal development in. Where they would be, if you compared the exact same person, did those two different habits, where they would be in 1 year would be night and day.
That would be an interesting test to do.
That would be. That would be. Because you also get to, because like, at least what happens later is you begin to attract different people. Your vibe is different. Your conversations are different, right? Like, you begin to hear, just hearing different stuff. You may hear, for me, it happened where I was at work and for some reason I heard something about real estate and my mind automatically went away, or hearing about investments. And all of a sudden I'm like, wait, what? I just heard investing. Rather than things that if I'm in my computer and I hear the Kardashians, I may not even I'm like, dude, I'm focused on other stuff.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, hey Diego, we're getting close to the hour mark here. I wrote down it passes by fast when we're talking about things that we're all passionate about. I wrote down a few things that I got from the show, from what you've said. I have like 6 things right here to sum it up, and maybe if there's anything else you want to add after that. I have 1, make sure you write down your goals. 2, invest in yourself. 3, track everything. 4, find a mentor. 5, get a tribe to hold you accountable. And then 6, long-term vision over short-term gratification.
Yeah, that is everything right there. You hit every single point.
Awesome. Great, man. Well, aside from that then, Diego, I really appreciate you coming on the show here today and sharing some value to the young people that are out there. We want to make sure that we can educate and get as much of this information out to all those young people that are out there who may not be aware or who are and want more of this stuff. So thank you for, taking an hour out of your time to come on here and share some value to the young people of the world.
My pleasure. It was great. I had a lot of fun. And you guys, if anybody does have any questions for me in the future, they can send me an email at info@diegocorzo.com. I'm on my email all day, so I'll be able to answer.
And Diego, you mentioned previous to starting the show today that you've just got yourself a new website and you're building some stuff on there. Free by 26, am I correct?
Free by 26, yes sir. Yes sir. It's gonna be my new baby.
What can people expect on Free by 26?
For that website, I see it's going to be a website that I'm going to share my experiences about investing, but as well as getting out of debt, tracking your expenses, and showing a little bit of and telling my audience the stuff that I learned when I go to conferences, and seeing how they can change their lives just a little bit by setting goals, tracking their expenses, as I mentioned. But everything's going to be through my experience, right? Because I can't really, I'm not going to be teaching people based on stuff that I haven't done. But it's going to be valuable, and my target market, I guess, the perfect audience is going to be millennials, people that are in their corporate job that go home and they're not happy. I want to make sure that I give them the value to make them happier and to find out why they're not happy.
Help people become free by 26, and if you're not 26, help you become free anyways.
Of course. I just use that because it sounds nice, and
nice.
I'm 26 now, and my goal by this year is to be financially independent.
Fantastic. Awesome. Sounds like you're on the right track, my friend.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure too. So
thank you very much so much for being here and for sharing your wisdom. It's been an inspiration. You've been an inspiration for me since I met you a few years ago, and to see, the transformation that you've gone on. I saw you were just recently featured on money.com, which is a huge congratulations for that too, Diego. And
thank you.
On behalf of all of our viewers, big thank you, my friend, and we look forward to chatting with you again soon.
Awesome. Well, it was a pleasure. Take care.
Awesome. Thank you, Diego.
Have an amazing day.
You too. Grab life big.